Alright, hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Pika here, and I'm here to present to you Katawa Shoujo Part 33. Oh, fuck. I got scared. Anyway, so, what happened last time was that Lily returned back from Scotland, and then after that, yeah, Lily returned home from Scotland, and then so basically, and she invited us over to her summer house in Hokkaido. Us, meaning me and Hanako, of course. So, we're gonna be in the summer house. Yay! Prelude? Also, look at this. Kano! Alright.
Is he still sleeping?
I think so. I'm not. I am, however, incredibly tired.
It's getting late in the morning.
I know that. He likely stayed up to watch television. I could hear it from our bedroom. Only because I couldn't get to sleep.
Should we wake him?
Don't do that, Hanako. Please. No, we should leave him. I thought he'd want to be woken early if he didn't get much sleep during the night. Thank you, Lily. Besides, he sounds so peaceful. It will be a shame to wake him when he's like this. Keep a straight face, Hisao. It is nice she cares so much, though. Hanako, could you go to the fridge and fish out what's needed to make lunch?
Alright, just the vegetables and rice?
That should be enough. We only need something simple as we can eat in town later. Hanako's footsteps on the carpeted floor can be heard, moving away from the living room. As they do, I feel Lily's hand gently rest on my chest. It takes a titanic effort not to react, but something about her makes me think she knows I'm awake. No! What the plane? Thank you. A long silence passes. The only thought in my mind is of that gentle outstretched hand laying upon my chest. After an indiscernible amount of time, Lily withdraws her hand. Good morning, Hisao. Kinda figured. Conceding defeat all too easily, I prop myself up and rub my eyes. How'd you know? Your breathing was off. Oops. While that makes sense, she couldn't have needed that long to work it out. Knowing her hair, she likely knew before laying her hand on me. If you want to sleep more, you should really go to bed earlier. I heard the television going long into the night. Sorry about that. My medications have been interfering with my sleep for a while now. Even if I'm tired, I have trouble actually sleeping. I know! I'm sorry for bringing it up, Hisao. I sigh. This is exactly the kind of thing I wish others wouldn't do. Okay, what does the choice say? Once I find it. That's not it. There it is. Apparently address it. Come on, you're worried about me more than I do at times. It just means I have to sleep a bit longer, that's all. But still, I'd say that I look absolutely fine, but I guess that wouldn't have a lot of meaning for you. She gives a sigh of consternation before trailing off with a amused chuckle, giving up the point. If you say so, please do take care of yourself, Hisao. Go on, Hanako could use some help. She moves to protest, but reluctantly acquiesces and disappears into the kitchen, her hand running along the smooth white walls as she slowly walks. For a while I sit and watch television in an attempt to wake myself a little more, but it's futile. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. It pisses me off with how many different ways it could be spelled. I don't have anything better to do, so I follow Lily's lead. As I round the corner, I see Hanako and Lily, backs turned, quietly cutting food on the granite-colored counter. I'm temporarily engrossed as I watch Lily guiding the knife down carefully with a finger on the cabbage she's cutting, each slice delivered slowly but with precision. She seems a little slow, but considering that she can't see what she's doing, it's a small wonder she can cook at all, let alone for both her and Hanako. Hi, Hanako. Lily, want any help? Is that Hisao? Ah!
Oh, morning, Hisao.
Lily jerks back in surprise before turning around, her yelp immediately drawing Hanako and I to her side. What? A small trickle of scarlet falls downward from her pale fingertip, the knife having cut just deep enough to draw blood. With the television sounds masking my footsteps, she must not have noticed me coming. To compensate for having to use touch to guide everything she does during cooking, she must need to pay extra attention.
Lily!
Don't worry, Hanako. It's just a small wound. You should still get a band-aid on it, at least until it stops bleeding. First aid stuff will be in the bathroom, right? I think so. Will you be okay here, Hanako? I frown at how little heed she's paying to herself as Hanako gives a quick, almost automatic nod.
It's fine. I can keep making lunch.
An awkward silence reigns as I set the bottle of antiseptic and box of band-aids on the side of the sink, Lily's finger held out for me to treat. The lid of the bottle comes off with a minimum of resistance. In the small ball of cotton I soak in the liquid stains a pale green. Okay, hold still. This'll probably hurt a bit. She gives a small nod as I take hold of her hand to steady it. With all the tenderness I can muster, I gently bring the dampened water to the small red line. Ah! What? I barely touched it. Sorry. I give a sigh. Both of her reactions to settle my own nerves. Her pain tolerance is startlingly low. There we go. I would tell you to man up, but I can't really do that. As she gives a small giggle, I take advantage of her momentary distraction and gently press the cotton against her finger a few times. Thankfully, it's enough to do the job. We both settle somewhat as I bring the band-aid over the tip of her finger, covering the wound while making sure not to get it stuck to her fingernail. There, finished. You can move now. Taking her hand from mine, she gently clasps it in the other. Ooh. Thank you. Wait, what? Oh, okay. It's no problem. It's the least I can do after causing you to hurt yourself, after all. She lowers her head slightly at the apology, absent-mindedly rubbing her hand in what seems to be embarrassment. I really don't mind. Her answer doesn't seem to make much sense, given that what happened is pretty clearly my fault. I can't help grimacing at her, despite the fact that her dainty smile still holds. She must not like being reminded of the limitations her lack of sight imposes on her. It's something I can't possibly fault her for. I've fallen prey to the same kind of feelings before, despite my condition not being nearly as ubiquitous, I don't know, in my life. Neither of us any the happier. We head back to the various smells of cooking food coming from the kitchen. Okay. I lay out the plates of food, steam slowly rising from the well-cooked rice and curry dishes, while Hanako lays out the cutlery. Knife one side, fork on the other. Western. How perfectly fitting for someone like Lily. As we take our seats, taking careful heed of the dark red tablecloth hanging below our knees, Lily emerges from the kitchen. In her hands are 3 glasses and a bottle of wine? As I recall our previous run-in with that devilish elixir, I hide my face in my palm. Alcohol? Seriously? She pauses as she reaches the table, playful grin perched on her face. Akira specifically gave permission to take a bottle from her collection. Oh my god. Not only does she give alcohol to minors, she even lets them pilfer their own. The perfect model of a responsible adult Akira is not. More to the point, though, is that this is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I'm starting to think Lily's the type to easily become hooked on things. Lily, don't. That's not really the problem. I don't really have any qualms with it, but didn't you have a bad experience with it last time? Last time was likely due to drinking too much, so a single glass shouldn't prove a problem. Think of it as a learning experience. I can't recall many learning experiences that made me feel rotten before putting me to sleep, but I'll take your word for it. She dips an uninjured finger inside to feel the liquid level, tip against the bottom as the liquid rises up. The white of her finger almost seems to glow as the sunlight hits it, the delicate outline blurred and refracted by the glass. Her fingers are definitely longer than mine, the kind I'd think more suited to a pianist than a teacher. She'd likely have done well if she'd learned how to play. We quickly dig into our meal, forks and knives clattering against plates. Shit, this is making me hungry. None of us are particularly eager to speak while eating, Lily altogether too reserved for such a thing, Hanako probably too shy to start conversation, and I too busy savoring the food. Such a pedestrian activity, eating together at the table. It seems so utterly normal, yet it makes me realize how long it's been since I've done something like this. Just the three of us, sitting around a single table eating as if we were a malformed family. Maybe this trip, as far away from everything as we are, was worth it. Okay. It takes quite a long time, but eventually we all finish our surprisingly filling meal. The wine, thankfully, has little effect given we've only had a glass or two each. I slump back into the seat, rubbing my stomach not contentedly. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm stuffed. Lily pats her mouth with a napkin. Twice, only twice, and with evenly timed intervals in between. It's hard to tell sometimes how she acts as a well-trained routine or a well-rehearsed act. I think I must be as well. Did you like it, Hanako?
It was nice.
Now that we're well fed, shall we be off? Off? Where? You weren't privy to the discussion between Hanako and I earlier. I get the impression that she's having a subtle dig at my sleeping in. Of course.
We'll be going into the town nearby.
I guess I should have expected two girls to take a holiday as an excuse to go shopping, no matter where on the planet they may be. I am interested to see more around the north, though, so this can only be a good thing. Sounds good. How long's the walk in, then? It's supposed to be around a mile to a mile and a half. Nearby, huh? Great. Just great. Just great. I can't tell if we're happy or sarcastic. As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lily and Hanako walking ahead. The slight breeze all but whisks away the sound of Lily's cane gently tapping on the ground. I notice that Lily's since removed the band-aid now that the bleeding of her finger has stopped. How long have we been recording? 11 minutes. Okay, 12. A deep, lung-filling breath of the fresh country air makes me wish all the harder that the air around home had been quite so clean. It can't have even been half a mile, but I'm already working up a sweat. It isn't a pleasantly cool day, though, so I shouldn't be too hard on myself for it. Hey, Lily, how well do you know this town anyway? Since I spent quite a few of my vacations here up until I entered Yamaku, I'd say I know it very well. We used to drive there once a weekend then. How I wish Akira was here to drive us now. I quickly take a moment to rub my hands a couple of times, staving off the oddly cold feeling in them. Cold? Did you like it up here? I'd say it was nice during winter, but at least can work out. But as you can work out, summers get a little too hot for comfort. It's nice and quiet at least. My family's real house is quite far south. When they left Japan, my parents gave it to Akira and I. Only Akira lives there now, after my moving into Yamaku. Well, quiet certainly describes this place. Though lonely is how I'd put it. Other than the prophesied small town, there isn't another soul for miles around. Coming from a home nestled deep within the big city, it's certainly different. I think that if I'd not come to Yamaku, staying out in the country like this would be too much of a change to get used to. After getting accustomed to the school's isolation, though, the idea of living in a place such as this has become almost inviting. To be somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the metropolitan centers. So, Sal, have you been to Hokkaido before? Nah, I used to live down south, and we never had any field trips or holidays up this far. Well, it's a new experience for you then. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised at how nice it feels here. How about you, Hanako? She shakes her head from side to side.
It's my first time, too.
As we continue walking, I begin to feel pins and needles in my legs. It's a little disturbing, given there's no reason for it to be happening. Music's going away. What the hell's going on? Could you two hold on a moment? I just need to... Is anything wrong? No, I've just got pins and needles and... Are you fucking with me? Are you fucking with me? No! My friend... Damn you, Arrhythmia, you struck again! My vocal cords suddenly become taut as my chest tightens instantaneously. I quickly pull my upper arm over it, trying to quell the shock of pain spreading throughout my entire body. Is Sal? Lily's face is only mildly concerned, not knowing the sight which Hanako's recoiling from. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just tired. I remove my arm from my chest and force myself to begin walking again. It's just a minor heart flutter, so it'll pass like the others. It only takes a couple of steps before my body violently revolts against me. My legs suddenly beginning to give way underneath me, and all tension on my knees seem to evaporate. Oh my god. Dude, are we seriously having another heart attack? God damn it. We already died once. We almost died once. We don't need to have another near-death experience. Oh god. Before I can react, they uselessly give way under my weight, leaving me only just enough time to brace myself and fall into all fours. Damn. As I look up to her, I realize my face is still taut with pain, only adding that much more to her worrying. Hisao? Hanako, tell me what's going on! Hanako, tell me! Hanako quickly moves to my side as Lily almost panics, having little clues to exactly how bad a condition I'm in. While she stands there petrified, I lower my face and take a deep breath. Come on. Come on. I come to a realization that makes me endlessly irritated with my stupid self. With all the excitement of my new surroundings, I entirely neglected to take my medications last night or even this morning. Okay. Taking another breath, the acute pain in my chest begins to die down as suddenly as it had arrived. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. As it does, I become acutely aware of the sweat by now pouring off of my face and the two scared girls around me. Hisao! I'm fine, Lily. Fine. I screw up my brow in an effort to lever myself up, Hanako's arms quickly moving to catch me if I fall as I stumble a bit before regaining my balance. I looked at Lily and Hanako, worry written on both their faces. I feel awful. Utterly awful. I think we should go back. Realizing the futility of protesting, I look away in frustration. Fine. Damn. So we nearly had a heart attack. Well, that's fucking awesome. God damn it! Seriously, I'm just out on a nice walk with two pretty girls, and then my fucking heart acts up. What the fuck? 17 minutes? Oh, come on. Okay, no, I'm not gonna stop here. Even though people have been telling me you need to make a video shorter, no, I need to cover as much content as I can. But don't worry, I know what's gonna come up next, so don't worry. I'm gonna end it before this day is over. I open my eyes groggily, completely bereft of energy. For a while, I simply lie down lifelessly, staring at the ceiling as I review the events of the morning in an attempt to organize my thoughts. We went to walk to town. My heart nearly gave way. We came back. I took my pills. I slept. I can only remember each period of time as a snapshot, but the timeline is clear enough. The memory of the girls' faces as I struggled to stand is an unpleasant one, stinging my feelings harshly. If I look at the ceiling hard enough, I can imagine the tile edges and small dimples of the ceiling in the hospital. That fact alone is enough to make me sit up and try to pull myself together. Excuse me. I scratched the back of my disheveled hair, glancing around the room. Lily and Hanako are nowhere to be seen, and the television is turned off. The clock above says it's pretty late in the afternoon. The noticeably reddened sky outside the windows confirms it further. I turn and pick myself off the futon, swaying slightly as I put my arms out for balance. I suppose I'd better go look for the girls to see if they're all right. As I look out the window, I faintly see something in the distance. Straining my eyes, I can just make out the shape of a person's figure. Her long blonde hair, swaying in the faint breeze, makes her almost seem to melt into the bright yellow of the wheat field. Without a second thought, I leave the room to follow that lone apparition. Rye and wheat. Oh, excuse me. The brightness of the setting sun assaults my freshly woken eyes, forcing me to avert them until they adjust. The long yellow strands of wheat brush against my legs as I wade through them, the densely grown field making it hard to advance. Regardless, my eyes stay fixed ahead, true to that solitary figure. Within minutes I reach her. Meters behind her turn back. Lily? Oh, she simply nods. Where's Hanako?
She's in bed. She went to sleep after I calmed her down.
She says it matter-of-factly and with as few words as possible, as if saying any more was strictly forbidden. There's something different about her. Her normally confident figure seems oddly fragile, her body offering no resistance to the breeze blowing against her skirt. The strands of wheat sway from side to side while a deafening pause passes. Yeah, the only sound being their rustling. As we stand in the field alone, I know what I have to ask. What's wrong, Lily? You're not acting like you usually do.
Remember when I talked to my family, Isao?
Your family. I look downwards in thought, sifting through my scattered memories. The event seems to leap ready to hand when I search for it, rising to the surface as soon as it was recalled. After Hanako's birthday party? She gives a single simple nod.
It was nice, back then. You and I celebrating with Hanako, simply sharing presents, talking, having fun together. It was almost as if we were a family. One small, misshapen family. I thought that could just go on forever. Just the three of us, happily together.
She takes a long breath, a slight shakiness to it just barely audible through the moving air.
Even if my family was so far away, as long as we were together, that was all I needed.
Oh god, now I'm gonna have to venture into emotion territory. Which sucks.
I don't want to lose you, Isao. I didn't even realize how afraid I was of losing someone else until today. Until...
I'm sorry, Lily. I know my body's weak, but even then I make the most stupid of mistakes.
Don't apologize. Please don't apologize.
Lily? Oh. She turns to face me, her pale cheeks stained with tears. One misguided step after another, she stumbles towards me, her arms held out in search of so much as a faint brush against me. CG. I love CGs. Oh god, I'm gonna have to venture into emotion territory. My heart doesn't race nor pound as I step towards Lily, gently taking and steadying her in my arms as she quickly clutches to me, sobbing. With her face trembling against my shoulder, the next words from her mouth are the last I expected. Oh gosh. Come on, Pika, you gotta get through. Here's the thing, I'm not very good when it comes to crying. I just barely managed to do it with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. How am I gonna do it with this? Oh, come on, Pika. Alright.
I love you, Hisao. I love you. 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 Don't go away. I beg of you. Don't never, ever go away. I love you, so please.
So, that's why she's been acting like this. That tender voice when I called her, her thoughtless concern of the slightest pain I might feel. After having been left in Japan without her family, and with only Akira, Hanako, and I around, she was afraid of losing yet another person who was close to her. She was genuinely worried for me. It's a strange feeling, a mix of surprise and sorrow, yet also the deepest gratitude I think I've ever felt. The only reaction I can muster among my conflicting emotions is a calm sigh. You idiot.
So?
For a fleeting moment I feel a body become still. The only movement to be felt is the calm afternoon breeze. I said it before, didn't I? It's only natural to feel concerned about those around you. I'm still here, and I'll always be here, because I want to see you more each day, to share in your happiness, to support you in your sadness. But most of all, I'll still be here because I want to see your smile, your true smile. Can we say I love you too, please? I need something! A single gust of wind rustles the long strands of wheat. A second silence passes. Smile when you want to smile. Cry when you want to cry. I love you, Lily, so you don't have to hold back anymore. With that, her arms clutch my back as tightly as she can, her face buried beside mine. Her tears fall down my back as she cries unrestrainedly as the last of her resistance melts away. Oh, I'm not saying that. Fuck that, no. No, I refuse. It's like... That was like one... I remember when I was... Okay, I'll explain it later. I close my eyes and bring my head down to her shoulder, holding her shaking frame tightly. It's okay, Lily. I'll never go away. I promise. And I'm saving here because I know what's gonna happen. Next. Just short of a half hour. Okay. So that was Katawa Shoujo part 33. There it is. Okay. When I was first playing through this game, I seriously found that part of Lily's route, like, really fucking awkward. Like, so that's why I don't know, like, I feel like, you know, if she didn't say those last 3 lines, like, no. I don't know, they just feel awkward to me, that's why I didn't voice them. I mean, everything else should feel awkward, but... Alright, so basically, the reason why I'm stopping it there, instead of going through the whole day like I normally do, we're at that part where I'm gonna have to censor shit. So yeah. So that was good. So yeah, that's why I stopped it there, so that, you know, we could at least have one normal day before I fucking go on to the sex. Anyway, so, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys again for Pokemon Randomized Platinum, where we'll be going against Candace in that part. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys again for Pokemon Randomized Platinum. So, see ya!